Hey y'all, so welcome, and I am going to start a new YouTube series. So these will usually debut on Thursday, cross my fingers. All about my personal travels. So we have a family trip coming up here in a few days. I'm so excited to be leaving, and I just wanted to go over all of our plans for our trip with you. So you can follow along in our journeys. So we are leaving from our hometown. It's going to be myself, my husband, and my youngest child. He is actually traveling with the band. They are taking a trip to Walt Disney World Studios and Universal. So my husband and I are going to leave a couple of days early actually and drive down. It is a 24-hour drive from where we live in Texas to Orlando. Our son will leave, so we're going to leave Tuesday morning, and I think he leaves Thursday evening. The band is going to load charter buses, drive to Dallas, take a flight from Dallas to Tampa, load charter buses, and drive from Tampa to Orlando, and we will meet them at noon on Friday. I do not envy those band directors, so if you are traveling with the band, God bless you. And see me, I'll give you some Advil or something, because your back is going to hurt. But my husband and I are leaving as soon, I work nights, so as soon as I get off Tuesday morning, or Wednesday morning rather, we're going to leave just I'm probably going to leave work just a little bit early so that we can hurry up and get on the road. So our first day, our plan is to drive from here to Crestview, Florida. That is a 16-hour drive, not counting any stops or traffic or anything that we run into. We have reserved Country Inn and Suites by Radisson that night, so I'm sure that it will be forever long day in the car, late night. And so then the next day, Thursday, we're not, we don't have any plans to get up super early. We are getting older, so the amount of time that we sleep is less. I'm just not so sure that after spending so long in the car on Wednesday that we are going to be so eager to climb back in the car. But it is only a 6-hour drive from Crestview to Orlando. So we will make our way to Orlando, and then we have rented a house. So we're staying off property, and it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house over kind of in the Kissimmee Davenport area. If you're familiar at all with Orlando, it's over by Animal Kingdom. Sherworth Road is a back road into Animal Kingdom. So this is over off of Old Lake Wilson Road and what's that other one that goes this way? It's not coming to me right now. But that's kind of the area that we're staying in. It's about a 10-minute drive from the house to Animal Kingdom. This is not my first rodeo with this. I generally, as far as like the transportation goes, love having my own car and being able to make that drive. We don't really have any plans for what we're going to do when we get there. We may go to Disney Springs, visit Gideon's, stock up for the week on Gideon's cookies, and maybe pick up some Everglazed donuts. They do have a new annual pass holder magnet that I would love to pick up. My husband loves Disney Springs. I've kind of fallen out of love with Disney Springs just because it's always so crowded. But we like to go and visit World of Disney and the Christmas shop, so we may do all of that. We also probably need to swing by either Publix or Walmart. There's a Walmart right by our house. There's a Publix not very far away, and pick up some groceries, mainly some water, coffee creamer, because I'm probably just going to bring my coffee from home. No need to buy more. And maybe like some little breakfast items or possible snack items to take with us into the park, because Mickey bars have gotten expensive, folks. And then just relax. We have a little condo that has its own pool, so we may spend some time in the pool. It's gonna be nice. And then probably head to bed, kind of early. Do what old people do. The next day, let me make sure I haven't left anything out. We are planning on going to Epcot. We might go by Character Warehouse first in the morning before we go to Epcot. We might go to Character Warehouse on Thursday when we arrive. I'm not real sure. So the band arrives at Epcot at noon. I made a dining reservation for Coral Reef at 11:40 for just me and my husband. He has not eaten at Coral Reef in over 10 years, and this is his first trip back since September of 2020. My son has not been since May of 2019. So really this trip is all about what do they want to see, do, and experience. And he wanted to do Coral Reef, so I got us a reservation for that. Steven, my son, isn't really into that, but Refreshment Outpost has chicken nuggets. Let me make sure that's where I'm ordering this from. Refreshment Port has chicken nuggets, so I will probably mobile order those for him, and then that way as soon as he gets to the park he can just go pick up those chicken nuggets. And then we want to go over and get in line for Remy's. We will not have an individual lightning lane for this, so we will just have to wait it out. That will be the bulk of our afternoon. And I'm not a huge Remy fan, so my crew may get there and be like, no, we don't really want to do this, we'll just wait. We do like Figment. I'm a huge, you can't see it, he's right there on my shirt. I'm a huge Figment fan. I love Figment. Do I love the ride? It leaves a lot to be desired, but Figment's my favorite. So we're gonna ride Figment, we're gonna ride Soarin', Spaceship Earth, Mission Space. I will not be riding Mission Space. My son wants to ride Mission Space, more power to him, because he wants to do Mission Space Orange, and I ain't about that anymore. And then we'll do Test Track. We're probably going to do dinner at Regal Eagle, and then stick around for Harmonious and probably just walk the World Showcase. So that is the plan for Friday, March 11th. Saturday, March the 12th, we are supposed to be at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So at the end of every park day, my husband and I will go back to the condo. My son will go with the band, and they are staying at Universal's Endless Summer Resort. I think they're at Dockside. I can't remember if they're at Dockside or Surfside, but I think they're at Dockside. So he will go back with them every night, and we'll go to our lovely accommodations. So the next morning we are going to Disney's Hollywood Studios. The band itinerary says that they will be there at 9 a.m. My husband clarified with the band director. He was like, are y'all gonna be there at Park Open? And the band director's like, yeah. And my husband's like, you know that Park Open that day is like 8 o'clock. He's like, oh, well, so we won't. We'll be there at 9. I'm like, alrighty. So our plans for that day, my husband and I are probably gonna go and be there at Park Open and do Toy Story Midway Mania. And then Steven and the band, there's, like I said, supposed to be there about 9. We're gonna try and do Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and we'd like to do, Steven loves those rides, Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, so we'd like to do 2 times around on each of those. We might get Genie Plus for this day, so we could use a Genie Plus Lightning Lane 1 time for each of those, so we can, you know, get a return time for Tower of Terror, a return time for Rock and Roller Coaster, and then we'll just have to wait in the standby line for Tower of Terror. But Rock and Roller Coaster has a single rider line that we would use, and if we don't get Genie Plus, we'll just use that single rider line. They want to do, or I want to do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I'm kind of dragging them on it. Steven has never been on it. I love that ride. It replaced the Great Movie Ride, but I'm super excited. I love it. I like to ride it 2 or 3 times every trip. And then we want to do, hopefully, a couple times around on Rise of the Resistance. We'll just have to see how the wait times go on that. We can't really rope drop it because the band won't be there. Because we're staying off property, all of the individual lightning lanes will be sold out by the time we're eligible to buy, so that's not really an option. And then because the band wants to meet back together right at park close, we can't really slip into line at the last minute. And that's usually a tip that I always tell people, but that isn't really an option for us this time. So again, we'll just have to wait in that big old long line, and wait we will. The other thing that we want to do this day is we have reservations at the Droid Depot at 8:40 to build a droid. My cousin's child is also going to join us for that experience as well. For lunches that day, Steven has never experienced Galaxy's Edge. So I figure a lot of the band kids are probably really going to want to be hanging out in Galaxy's Edge. So that's kind of our plan too. I mean, even though we're doing these other rides, I have penciled in for us to like have lunch, an early lunch at Ronto Roasters, and then do dinner at Docking Bay 7, both of which are in Galaxy's Edge, because I figure, you know, Steven's really just going to want to kind of absorb all of that. The next day, we are going to be at Universal. So, kind of went back and forth on this, and I was just, so the band is only going to be at Universal for one day, and they do have a park-to-park ticket. But I've never been to Universal, none of us have, and so I really wanted to spend 2 days at Universal and kind of try and see a good, you know, really have a good experience and get to experience a lot of the park. So I booked my husband and I for 2 days at Universal, and originally I was just gonna buy us a front of the line pass or a Universal Express pass for our second day when Steven wasn't with us. Steven really wants to do all of Harry Potter, and I just thought there's so much to see and do between both parks that I really feel like that he needs an Express pass also. So by the time I looked at Express passes for all three of us for one day, and then just me and my husband for another day, it was gonna be like $1,000. So instead, I booked a night at Portofino Bay for me and my husband. So the next 2 days are just gonna be kind of rough. So we will have to get up and leave our house really, really early, because Universal opens, so Universal Studios Florida opens at 7 a.m. for early entry that day. We will need to pick up our Express passes from the hotel prior to that 7 a.m. opening. So we probably need to leave our house over by Disney where we're staying about 5:30 that morning. Drive over, leave our car, and then drop our bags at Bell Services, pick up all of the Universal Express passes, and I went ahead and put Steven on our reservation so that he would also get a Universal Express pass, and then we'll go over there, and then when Steven shows up, he can have his Express Pass card. So we are going to start at Universal and then take the the Hogwarts Express over to Islands of Adventure. But we want to start out with doing Despicable Me and Rip Ride Rocket, E.T. Encounter, Transformers, Fast and the Furious, poke around some in Harry Potter, and do Ollivanders, and then do Men in Black, and we will probably just do lunch along Fast Food Boulevard. Maybe catch the show Animal Actors, then get the Hogwarts Express about 12:30 and go over to Islands of Adventure and do Dr. Doom's Fearfall, the Velocicoaster, which that is going to be a really, really long wait. Steven didn't really have this on his to-do list, so if he decides that he doesn't want to wait in that line, we'll probably just skip it, and David and I will do that as soon as the park opens the next day. We want to do the Jurassic Park Discovery Center, Camp Jurassic, get dinner at Three Broomsticks, and then do Flight of the Hippogriff. I want to do the Walk Through Cat in the Hat. I really kind of want to do Dr. Seuss High in the Sky trolley. We'll see if that happens. Steven wants to do Mystic Mountain. I'm like, well, okay. So I have that on the plans. as well as Spider-Man, Storm Forces Celatron, Harry Potter Forbidden Journey, and Hagrid's Motorbike. Hopefully we'll finish pretty early in the evening. We'll just have to see about that Velocicoaster ride. And then I figure we will stick around to see the lights on Hogwarts before we call it a night and head back to Portofino. I think we're just going to go ahead and spend the night at Portofino. I mean, we could drive back to the house and not use the room, but we've got it. We might as well use it, right? Then the next morning, the band is actually headed back to Disney World. They are going to do a theme park design class over at Magic Kingdom. So we won't see Steven at all on that day. And my husband and I are going to go back, you know, and do another day at Universal. We're going to start out our day at Islands of Adventure and hit Velocicoaster first thing in the morning. So hopefully we won't have that long line. We're going to do Flight of the Hippogriff again, Jurassic Park River Adventure, Harry Potter Forbidden Journey, Hagrid's. My husband and I really aren't into Harry Potter, so we may decide that once is enough and not redo those, but we might really enjoy those rides, so that's kind of up in the air. But we for sure want to do Incredible Hulk, and I bet that we'll want to do Spider-Man again, so I'll also have those on the to-do list. We do have a reservation for Toothsome's Chocolate Factory. Publicity has been out for Toothsome's for years, and I just have really always wanted to try that, but I've never been over to Universal, so this is my opportunity. Cross my fingers, I like it. After that, we are gonna go do, we'll go back to Universal Studios, and we go to Toothsome's. We're also gonna do Ripsaw Falls, Skull Island, and a Raptor Encounter. So I hope to get all of that done before lunch. And then after lunch, go to Universal Studios and do the Bourne Stuntacular show, USF horror makeup show, the Jimmy Fallon ride, the Blues Brothers show, and then maybe finish up with Harry Potter and Escape from Gringotts, and probably finish at Universal pretty early, and then we might walk through City Walk again before heading back to the house. So that will kind of wrap up the Universal portion of our vacation. So the next day is the band's last day at Disney. My husband and I are going to go to Magic Kingdom, and the band is going to go to Animal Kingdom. And Steven, so I always plan out the rides and the order of the rides because I have high anxiety and I'm very impatient. I don't like crowds. So I try to avoid having to wait in line and, you know, just be caught up in crowds as much as possible. Steven is very laid back, does not care. So when I asked him, hey, do you want me to make a touring plan for you? He's like, nope. So he is on his own. Hopefully it works out for him. Again, I don't know if we will get Genie Plus for this day or not. I am only going to be at the park until about 2:30, somewhere in there. And then I'm going to go over to Animal Kingdom and pick Steven up. So the band is going to do all day at Animal Kingdom at 4. They are loading the buses and going to the airport to fly back. And Steven, we are going to collect him, and he will not go back with the band. He will go back with us. So I've got to be over there by 4 to pick him up, and he does not have a park hopper for that day, so I can't take him back with me to Magic Kingdom. My husband really wants a full day at Magic Kingdom, and this is really his only opportunity to see Enchanted, maybe. And so he's going to finish out the day at Magic Kingdom. I'm going to take Steven back to the house. Steven would be very comfortable just hanging out at the house, but I think he wants to swim, and I don't want to leave him. Nobody should swim alone. So I'm going to hang out at the house with him so that he can swim, and then after he gets all of that done, I'll go back to Magic Kingdom and pick my husband up. It's not a problem to do that. But our plans for Magic Kingdom are to be there at Rope Drop, and we want to do Pirates of the Caribbean, Splash, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, have an early lunch at Columbia Harbor House, The last couple times I ate at Columbia Harbor House, I wasn't real crazy about it, but my husband really does like it, so we're gonna give it another chance. And then I also want to see, they are going to run Festival of Fantasy twice. They are going to run that parade at noon and then again at 3. Well, I'll have to miss the 3 o'clock to go get Steven, so I'm gonna try and catch it at noon. And then the Dapper Dans will perform on Main Street right after that. And I hope to maybe squeeze in a trip on Carousel of Progress and then Jungle Cruise before I have to leave and go pick up Steven. So just to get that Jungle Cruise right in, I don't know. I can't decide if that, if I want to do Genie Plus or not. It would certainly be helpful for my husband who is planning on staying. He will want to kind of knock out Tiki Room, It's a Small World, Space Mountain, which I'm okay with missing. It tears up my back. I have on here for him to go see Mickey's PhilharMagic, so they've redone that, and it is really good. They added in a scene from Coco, and then they just really kind of cleaned up the quality, so it's really cute. And then Enchantment is at 9 o'clock that night. Then the next day, we are going to go back to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Steven has an appointment at 9:45, I think, to build, is that right? Is it at 9:45? To build a lightsaber? I have it written down, just not on my piece of paper. I always tell myself that I'm not going to make a spreadsheet, that I don't need a spreadsheet. I make a spreadsheet at the last minute every single time. But we're going to start out at Disney Hollywood Studios. Yeah, we're going to do Rock and Roller Coaster, probably Single Rider, Savi's, Rise of the Resistance. And if I thought that we could get Rise of the Resistance done before Savi's, that'll just depend. But because we are staying off property, you know, that line is already huge by the time we get entrance. So I just don't know that that's going to work. We'll do Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run again. They haven't seen Indiana Jones since it reopened, so we're going to catch that. Do Star Tours, Tower of Terror. I want to do Mickey and Minnie's again before we go. We'll see. If they don't want to, we'll just skip it. And then we have a dinner at Sci-Fi Dining Theater, which is where Steven really wanted to eat. He's never eaten there. He's heard us talk about it, so he wanted a chance to go and try that out. And that is at 5. And then Magic Kingdom is actually open until 11 that night, and we do have park hoppers, so we may hop over to Magic Kingdom and do Space Mountain, watch Enchantment together as a family. It's not my favorite fireworks show. I really enjoyed Wishes. Happily Ever After blew me away. And Enchantment doesn't. I don't think that it's bad. I think it's personal preference. So I think that a lot of people really enjoy Enchantment. I don't know. I fell in love with Happily Ever After. So that's just a personal thing. I love Harmonious though over at Epcot. That's my new favorite fireworks show. And I wasn't a big Epcot fireworks fan prior to this. But after Enchantment, we'll see if we can get a ride on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Splash Mountain, and Pirates of the Caribbean. This is for sure probably a day that we will do Genie Plus, just because we can stack all of those lightning lanes over at Magic Kingdom while we are at Hollywood Studios, and then just knock them all out when we get over there. The next day is Thursday the 17th, and this is our last day at Disney, and we're only doing a half day. We're gonna go to Animal Kingdom. We're gonna do Festival of Lion King, Flight of Passage, Navi River Journey probably, and I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we were gonna do. My husband doesn't really like Dinosaur. He finds it to be very jerky, and Expedition Everest is closed for while we are there. So that's kind of that. We will eat at Satuli Canteen over there because I love Satuli. I just think it's fabulous. So after we get done about noon, somewhere between noon and 2, we are going to head to Santa Rosa Beach. I have a little condo unit reserved for us there for the next 3 nights, 17th, 18th, 19th. No, yeah, 17th, 18th, the 19th. So we are going to spend the 18th and the 19th at the beach at Santa Rosa. My husband has looked into a company that will drop off beach chairs and a beach umbrella for us right at that beach access point. So it's a private beach, not open to the public, but there are companies that will, there's a beach access 30A that we will access. It'll be interesting to see how this is during spring break. I expect it to be very crowded. So this beach is right by Destin, but there's a reason why I didn't choose Destin. I just felt like that would probably be absolutely wild over spring break. So I'm hoping that maybe this, at least this way, we can get, you know, a square in the sand. So we'll spend the 2 days there, and then the plan is to come home on the 20th. That would be another 16-hour drive. So we might not. We might stop partway home and spend the night and just kind of break it up a little bit more. I have to be back at work at 6 a.m. on the 22nd. Those are the plans. Next up, I am going to do a packing video, show you everything that I am going to be taking with me. And I hope that you enjoy this new series. Bye!